Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are discussing about incremental loading, right? So we have seen couple of demos with lookup and slowly changing dimension. Today, we're going to see one more option, but this time we are not going to use SSIS. We're going to use a merge statement of SQL Server. Let me go to the syntax because it is a coding. SQL Server means you need to write the code, right? So that is what we're going to discuss today. So SQL merge, it is not SSIS merge. How can we perform incremental loading, right? So merge statement is introduced in 2008 of SQL Server. It is one of the DML statement placed in SQL Server 2008 to perform the incremental loading using SQL Server feature. Merge statement is a combination statement that can perform insert, update, delete statements based on the whether rows that match the selection criteria exist in the target table or not. Okay, this is the simplest one. I will be able to give you this example. Okay, let me quickly take this data. Let me open this. I wanted to create first database because we have used different databases. For this also, I'm going to be using different databases. Now the database name is called merge. Okay, so merge DB database, or we can say company. We'll say company underscore incremental loading using merge. Something like that I wanted to create. So control C, control V, control V. So control V. I wanted to create this. Now I have created. Now the same tables I'm going to be using employee ID. Okay. So I wanted to use this database. I have created a new database, but this time I wanted to use a merge statement. It is a just like a DML query. So I have to use it. So let me execute this. I'm able to add the data. Now let me add two rows. Clear? Sadhana and Ram. So this is my data. Now I wanted to create same things. So let me take this. I wanted to create a dim employee table. I have two tables here. One is a source, the second one is destination. Now, how to write the syntax? It is a coding practice, right? So you have to say, you need to write merge target table. Target table alias is D, or you can say a whatever. You can give some alias, right? Merge target table as this and using, this is a source table S, or you can give some B, or you can see some Q, any names you can give. You can say this is a destination. This is, I can say, source. Clear? So you're saying merge the dimension table, that is a destination table, with the source table based on this condition. We knew that we are going to be using like this, right? So based on which condition? Normally, this is what a target table you're going to be merging with the source table data based on this condition. So this I'm going to be calling this as a D. For this table, I'm calling this as S. S means what? S means source data. This is a source. Clear? This is what is called source data. D means this is what is called destination. After that, what I'm saying, D dot primary key is equivalent to s dot primary key, or this dot primary key is equivalent to this dot primary key, because we need to map this one and this one, right? So this is what we're mapping in lookup. Same thing we are going to be using merge here. So when using merge here, you have to map the column. Which is the column? Primary key column. So that is what I'm writing. That's what I'm writing. So you can simply see, I'm saying any column, D dot or S dot, anything is fine. Clear? You can write a source or destination, doesn't matter. This is what. So then what we're doing, if the data is not matched, there are two things, right? If the data is matching, there are not matched, you have to insert. There is matched records, you have to update. Same logic you have to use, but you need to understand when data is not matched. Clear? Not match means you need to insert. So let me write this statement. Okay, so what I'm trying to do after this, you have to do the insert. Insert means what? Not matched, right? So no match by target. This is what is called target or destination, anything. This is the syntax. When not matched by the target, what is not matched? For example, I have this data. This is not matched by the target. Target means this is destination. You can say target, destination. If it is not matched with the target, if it is not mapping, so what I'm saying? I'm saying insert employee ID, name, salary from where? From the source. What is the source? S dot employee ID, S dot name, S dot salary. So all of them you have to insert. This is very simple command. So where is that you're merging? You're merging employee ID name. So this data is from the destination table data. Insert into these columns from the destination table, target table. S means the source data, values from the source data. So this is what is syntax. When not matched by the target, then insert. This is a destination column data. You can say D dot EID or D dot name or D dot salary, or you need not write also, that is fine. The value is coming from this. So what will happen? You are going to be getting this data will come here. You will be able to get this data. It will go here. When not matched, no match. Tomorrow you will get 3 Mukesh. Mukesh will be having 3,000. When not matched, when not matched, 1 and 1 is matched and 2 and 2 is matched. When not matched by the target, you simply take the data and insert. That is what this statement will do. This is a syntax. Clear? The next update. Update means what? When matched, right? When the data is matched. So when what is matched? So this and this is matched. Okay. This column and this column is matched. Now let me update this to 500. Now this one I would like to update with to something like this. I have updated these two columns. No, I did not update. Now this is matched. If this and this is matched, okay. Afterwards, what I'm saying, and remaining columns are unmatched. So this data unmatched, or this data unmatched. So 1 and 1 is matched. Remaining columns are unmatched. So John and John is matched. This one unmatched. When this is unmatched, so this record is unmatched data. Clear? So remaining columns also verifying. So it will come here. Now this and this is matched fine. Sitaram is matched fine. But this one not matched. If it is not matched, so what is matched? 1 and 1 is matched, 2 and 2 is matched, and remaining columns are unmatched. Remaining columns are this, either this column or this column is unmatched. You take the data. So this and this is matched. Remaining columns are matched because 3,000. If it is matched, I don't need. If it is not matched, get the data and you have to put the data. That is what. When matched means whether this employee ID and employee ID is matched, that is what is called this matched. And remaining column, destination column does not equal to source column, or destination salary does not equal to source data. What we need to do, you have to say this is a destination column data, to be written by source column data. Destination data has to be written by the source column data. What will happen? So now this John will get modified with the John. this salary will be updated by this guy. Sitaram name has to be updated, and this value is also will get updated. Clear? So that is what I'm going to be updating. That's it. So this is what is called this. So this is what is called insert and update. And at the end, you have to put semicolon. If you don't put semicolon, merge statement will fail. So this is what is the syntax. Completely you take, copy this. Now you have to simply, you can execute here itself. You can execute simply like this. So you don't have any data. You don't have any data. You can take this syntax, complete syntax from here to here. So you can go and try to open like this. This is what is a complete syntax. That's it. So, and execute it. When executed, so insert statement columns is statement contains multi-part. What is multi-part? Somewhere here I should not write this because this data is going to go to destination. You should not write, but you need to mention the source data. Let me execute this. Now it is going to be inserting 2 rows there. So let me go and try to see 2 rows there. Okay. Now what you do, you insert one more row. You insert one more row. Okay. You also update one row. How to update? We know, right? Update the first employee salary also we're updating. Clear? Now, when you see employee data you have this data. Let me update these two. When you update these two, so I have a modification here that has to come. Kiran is the new row. So what I have to run? You need to run the entire command. At the end, you need to put this semicolon. If you don't put semicolon and try to execute this, this will give you an error. See, no? A merge statement must be terminated by semicolon. Terminated means at the end, you need to have what? Semicolon. So this is what. So we are updating, we are inserting and execute. Now see the data. How many rows now went? 2 rows. One row got modified here. This row got updated. So I don't have any changes. Let me try to execute this now. If I try to execute, it will send me 0 rows have been affected. Like that, you will be able to understand. So always we insert the data, we update the data, but we can also write, delete the data. If you wanted to delete the data, normally we don't do, but if you wanted to delete, you can write this statement. Okay. So what is the statement? I will show you. The statement is you need to remove semicolon first, because if you wanted to add, remove at the end, you can say this statement. So what is this? When not matched by the source, then delete. So what is the meaning? I got these three. Now this one is resigned. So this data is deleted from here. So now you're saying when not matched by the source means 1 and 1 you're mapping. You're mapping in the reverse direction. 2 and 2 is mapping and 3 is there. 3 is not there. When not mapped with the source, then you delete from here. So that is what is the point. Clear? So when not matched by the source, then you delete. Clear? So for example, I have now 1, 2, 3. I have now 1, 2, 3. Let me delete 3 record. So it will be deleted in the destination also. Delete from the employee table where employee ID equals to, let us say 3. I am deleting from the source. Now, I did not delete from the destination, but if you wanted to delete, so what you need to do, you have to run this complete syntax till delete and executed. One row got deleted. Now you don't have any data over there. Clear? So this is what is the point. Again, people may ask you, what is the people may ask you? I wanted to perform a type 2. What is a type 2? If any update happens, I wanted to maintain the historical data. So can I perform a type 2 operation with the help of merge? It is very complicated. if you wanted to perform with the type 2 with the help of a merge. Merge can do very, very quickly and very, very faster when you compare with, your what is called, compare with your lookup compare with lookup, or as well as compare with your SCD transformation, right? Because it does not need any full cache. All these caches are not needed, because when you use a lookup, it has to have the cache. If you have a caching problem, that means if you don't have sufficient RAM, then definitely you can come and use this kind of a merging statement, and we never write delete. You can delete this statement and you can end with the semicolon here itself. Clear? So you should not keep it here. But if you wanted to keep, that is also fine. So merge is very, very faster. So people will not take this because this will be coding. You need to write the coding, right? So that is what is the problem. So many people, what they do, they will be able to open SSIS package dev environment. Let me open SSIS package. So go here. Now I can write those statements in SSIS package, then I can call them. So I wanted to go and a new SSIS package, rename demo and incremental loading with merge. Merge of what? SQL merge, SQL merge. Okay. So now what I do, how to execute SQL task? Execute SQL, only need to use this. Double click on this. You have to go to the connection. Which connection I have to use? So delete this one, new connection. Server name is dot. Database name is called SQL merge. Now, okay. Now, what is the command I should write? This is the complete command you should write from merge to delete button. So this is the complete code. You have to map it and go and paste it. Clear? So click on OK. Click on OK. So this is what is performing merge. So let me close this and let me execute. If I execute it, which is going to be loading the data from source to destination. Now I go, let me delete. Let me go here and execute it. I have the same data 1212. Now this time I wanted to load one row, or I would like to load two rows. Clear? Two rows got loaded. So 3 and 4 I would like to load. And if you wanted to update, you should be able to update his salary to salary to, let us say, some 5599, some salary I wanted to update. Now you execute. This salary got updated. Remaining data has to come here. Now let me execute SSIS package. Right? So I'm going to be executing SSIS package. It got executed. Let me just go back and see it is happening. So who's doing? So you're doing with the merge statement of SQL Server. Sometimes what we can do, we can also create a stored procedure. How to create a stored procedure? Create a proc. You can say use stored proc loading employee data. So as begin, and you will be able to say end. Clear? So this is how you should be able to write your own code. So this is the complete code you should be able to write within the create a proc. So what is a procedure? Why stored procedures? You will not be able to know now. So this is the complete code you have to write. Okay. So complete code you have to write. This is the code. Create a proc, blah, blah, blah as begin code. So this code we are going to be using here. Okay. So now I am going to be executing the stored procedure now. How to execute this stored procedure? We have to go execute the stored procedure. Now, where is the stored procedure available? Now you can go to merge. You can go to programmability, you will be able to get the stored procedure. How to execute this? To execute, to create, we have done it. Now you have to call the stored procedure. Why stored procedure? You have to know SQL Server very well. Exec, to execute, we need to write exec stored proc name. Clear? Whenever you execute, the complete code will be written because you don't have in the new data. Now what should you do? You have to load one more data. Let me control C. Say Abhi or Abhiram. Abhiram is the new data I am going to be inserting. Now I will be able to execute this. If I execute, it is able to do only one thing. So I need not execute complete code. Okay, even though I close everything, so still I will be, able to get the complete code. How to get the complete code of the your programmability, whatever you have written, that will be there in this. Let me go open stored procedure. Let me double click on this modify. You will be able to get the complete code. Every coding is available. Now you have to execute. To execute, what you have to do? You have to get the name and simply you have to say exec and the stored proc name. When you execute, you will be able to get the data. Now, instead of writing the complete code here, what you do? You modify and you should be able to call the stored procedure like that. Okay. You call the stored procedure like that. Now you should be able to execute. Stop this. Now, I wanted to see the data. Select star from employee table. I have this data. Dim employee table. I have the data as it is, right? So you can just store some data and try to implement it. I take one more row. I wanted to insert. Okay. I have 5. Now 6. 6, let us say John, right? John salary, let us say some 8,000. I wanted to insert. So if I execute, it will happen, but I wanted to call the stored procedure. How to call the stored procedure? Exec stored procedure name, then you will be able to execute, right? Now the stored procedure is called already. Now you will be able to see the data. John is there. The same John is also available. Have you seen this? So now you update the data. You update employee set name is equivalent to some name equals to AAA, where employee ID equals to 1. I have modified some data. So employee 1 salary A become AA Sadhana. Now when I execute the package is calling the stored procedure. Now you can just go back and see. So it is going to be getting AAA. Why stored procedure? So all of them you will be able to learn later. But what is a merge syntax? Merge syntax is pretty much easy. How do you get the code? You have to go modify. You can remove all these things and you can remove all these things. This was the actual code. So merge target table, you can give some alias. You can give A, B, C using and primary key. So when the primary key is not matching, we are inserting. If the primary key is matching and remaining columns are unmatching, we are updating. So when the destination table data is not mapping with the source data, then we're deleting the row in the source. Clear? So this is what is the syntax and this is what is called merge. Merge is very, very faster, but you have to know little bit of coding. You have to know little bit of coding, otherwise, which is very, very good. Okay, very, very good transformation. So this is what is called merge. Okay. So then the last one is called incremental loading with large data. So that is where we are going to use CDC, change data capture. Okay, let me go and tell you what is the problem with either merge or what is the problem with merge or what is the problem with, see, if I share, you don't write, you copy paste and you execute. Try to write, Naveen, on your own so that you will at least understand. By seeing the video, write step by step. If I copy the complete code, you will copy paste and execute. Nothing will happen. So you do it one by one. So what is the problem with the lookup or SCD or with the merge? The problem is you are going to be comparing row by row. This row you compare, this row you compare. But when you have millions of data, when you compare row by row, do you think that comparing will work? If I have 1,000 rows, 2,000 rows, 1 million data, 2 million data, I can compare row by row. But if I have a billions of data, can you compare row by row? Is it very easy comparing one row by row? It is impossible, or it will take a lot of time. Clear? So what is the biggest problem in lookup or merge or SCD? Because it's going to be comparing the data one row by one row, one row by one row, one row by one row. But when you have a large amount of data, this comparing techniques, either lookup or SCD or merge statements are going to fail, because you should not compare when you have a large amount of data. It will be impossible. But somehow you have to know what is the new record. For example, if I say Puri, I am writing some data without comparing, I should know which is the latest record or the latest data that I want to know it. Okay. So without comparing, if you wanted to work with a large amount of data, that is where we're going to be using CDC, change data capture. Clear? So what it does, it is not going to compare anything. It is going to be simply whenever you insert the data, it is going to be putting a column. In this column, so it is called as some flag column. So in this column, it will say, this is old data. This is old data. This is what is called new data. Clear? Like that, it will maintain. Whenever you write something, so it is going to be putting, this is new record. So like something like this, it is going to be storing like that. Or one more way we can handle is that. One more way, what is that we can handle? For example, you have taken this data, you have loaded this data, but I wanted to know what is the new records. Clear? So whenever you insert a new record, for example, 3, new record Kamesh and 3,000. So what CDC will be doing? CDC will be taking the same data. So it will be taking the same record and it is going to be keeping it there. So it knows that this record is the new record. For example, if you update this record with 2007 records, so whatever is updated, that is going to be storing here. So it knows that it has to take these two records and you have to modify. If it is getting a modification, so this data will get modified here. So this data is going to go there, but it is not going to compare 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 like that. So when you have a millions of data, whenever you store a new record, for example, David, I'm storing a new record. So what it does in the new table, it stores only the new record once more. Clear? So it knows that it will create one more table, extra table. In that, whatever be the extra data that you're going to be storing here, that is also will get recorded. It will not take all the data. It will not compare. It knows that this is a new record. It is going to be simply putting it here. Clear? So like that, you can make different techniques without comparing also. What is the new record? So what is the new record? How do you know? So whatever by the new record comes, the same data you will be maintaining in one more table. So you have to go to this table and get the data without comparing. The latest data also can come. Like that, CDC can be very faster, very faster. Change your data capture. Whatever the data is getting a change, that data you capture separately. Capture ante unchuko. Clear? So for example, tomorrow you are modifying this data. So after loading this data, you have to delete from this table, right? So now again, for example, you're modifying Sita Ram to Sita. You're modifying like this. Whatever the data has been modified, change data you capture separately. So that means tomorrow, you did not change millions of data, only this data has modified. So go there and simply update this record. Clear? So change data capture. So don't compare one by one. Don't compare records, because comparing and storing is very, very complicated issue when you have a large amount of data. When you have a large amount of data, lookup will fail, SCD will fail, even merge is also fail, because all of them are going to compare a primary key to primary key, primary key to compare. Then they'll say match or no match. So that is not going to work. So when you have a large amount of data in the source files, clear? In that case, we are going to use what? CDC, change data capture. It is going to be creating one more table, and automatically, which is going to be inserting the updated records and new records here. This will take this data. It is going to be overwriting or inserting. Later, this data will be deleted from this table. This is one more table gets created. Remember that. This is a table. This is a source table called employee, right? It will create a employee, some IN, incremental data, extra data. Whenever you have, this data will get loaded. So this will be automatically done by CDC. What is the CDC? Change data capture. This is also new option which got created in 2008. Okay? So uses transaction log sequence numbers to identify insert, update, delete operations that have occurred within the specified time period. Full or simple recovery model, you need to have it. So a lot of other things you need to set it at the SQL Server level. You don't understand this point, but you forget about this point. So you will be able to easily work with it. It is a two-step process. You have to go to database level, and it is also you have to work with the two things. SQL Server level you need to do, and SSIS level also you need to do it. So enable CDC at SQL Server level, two-step process. Enable CDC at database level, enable CDC at table level. CDC is now stopped by SQL Server 2017, supported for SQL Server 2017 on Linux starting blah blah blah. CDC needs ADO.NET connection. All of them have some prerequisites. Clear? So change data capture. So I will give you one more video on this, then you should be able to work with CDC. And people would ask, when should I use lookup? When should I use CDC? Right? When you have a large amount of data, lookup, SCD, even merge will fail. Why? Because it's going to be comparing row by row. So you should not compare, and still you have to perform large amount of incremental loading. Clear? So that is where what is important? CDC. CDC is very, very good, but you need to write a little bit of coding, and the CDC feature need to be enabled at the SQL Server level or the database Oracle level. Plus, you need to also go to SSIS package, and you need to do a lot of other settings. It is not only in one place. Both places you need to do lot of steps. Then only it is going to be working. CDC is configured in all databases. So it may be Oracle database or SQL Server database, MySQL database, everywhere CDC is there. CDC first first introduced by Oracle guys only, right? If you wanted to work with large amount of incremental loading, lookup and all the other ETL solutions are completely useless. So you need to have something different. So that is what Oracle had implemented in the Oracles. So after that, Microsoft copied the same concept and they have implemented in the SQL Server as well as SSIS. I give you one more video. You have to practice, and so that you will be able to perform this. So this is also very, very interesting point. In the real-time scenario, can we use much more of merge statements? Yes, in the projects. Meanwhile, you said little bit of knowledge should be needed to applying merge statement. Yes, yes. We use merge. We use lookup, right? If you have a large amount of data, we use what? CDC. Chalo. ठीक है? So this is what is called one more. We have lookup, SCD, merge. I discussed, and then I discussed CDC. Remaining things I'm not going to be discussing because there are many. Not only these, there are 10 to 20. Things are available. So remaining things we are not going to be discussing because you can use accept, intersect, and you can also use joins and a lot of other concepts I have implemented in your end-to-end project also. You will be able to learn some more things there as well. So as of now, you can tell them that lookup, SCD, merge, and CDC. These are the four concepts you have implemented. SCD is bad when you have a large amount of data because it is going to be internally using OLEDB command. Lookup is good when you have at least some, modern data, medium size data like 20 GB, 30 GB, 40 GB of data. But when you have terabytes, petabyte of data, your lookup, SCD, merge, everything will fail because they're going to compare row by row. Without comparison, I would like to perform incremental loading means, use CDC. This is introduced by SQL Server in 2008. Chalo, guys. Any questions? I will give you a special video on CDC. You watch it, you should be able to perform that. But if you get any questions, you will be able to ask me in tomorrow's class.